morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Mike Vogiatzakis Show on this Wednesday, January the 14th, 2026. So glad to have everybody with us tonight. I know that we've got a heck of a great show lined up. Mike is standing by, and tonight we're going to talk about something that's really hard-hitting to people here in Manitoba and Winnipeg specifically, where it hurts the most, meaning, well, you know, Mike brings up a lot of topics, so this one won't surprise you. We need to get into monthly bills. They're outrageous. You know it. I know it. Mike knows it. We're all feeling that pressure, that pain of, you know, living paycheck to paycheck is what I like to call it. And I don't like to call anything that, but that's where we're at for a lot of us. Not luxuries, not extras, just basic necessities are through the roof. Water, hydro, garbage collection, property taxes. For many families, these costs no longer are manageable. They're overwhelming. So tonight we're going to break this down piece by piece and explain exactly what's gone up, by how much, and why so many people feel like they're drowning financially. There's a lot more to come. We'll get to it right after this.
At Santa Lucia Pizza, you know it's all about the sauce. Did you also know, whether dine-in, takeout, or delivery, our menu is sure to please with a variety of options for the whole family. With quality ingredients for pizza, pasta, Greek, and so much more. Cut cooking out of your dinner plans and let Santa Lucia Pizza do all the work. With large portions, superior taste, great service, remarkable quality, and exceptional value, plus fantastic menu options, and our specialty, of course, pizza. Fresh and piping hot to your door. Pizza, pasta, Greek food, Santa Lucia. It's all about the sauce. Order online at santaluciapizza.com.
As soon as the show's over, Mikey, I am headed to Santa Lucia to get myself a pizza. I'm so hungry. I looked at that wonderful pizza just now, and I there was a lot to choose from. That the
Greek salad,
commercial's got a lot of stuff there.
Chicken souvlaki, pizza, so lasagna.
So ready for pizza tonight.
Well, you remember, right? You remember I'm on a workout program.
Yeah, you are. I don't have to worry about that. Thank you.
I need to make it happen for May.
Yes, May. You're going to be there.
That's right.
Pumped and
getting there.
What happens?
Working
in May?
hard.
What happens in May?
May is when you can put your name in.
Is that when you go toe to toe?
May is when you can go toe to toe, put your boxing gloves on, and go. Let's go, folks! It's party time.
You better tell people where to find us.
So you can find us on two places today on my page, Michael Vogiatzakis, and the Mike Vogiatzakis Show.
We're here. That's where we're watching tonight. It's the Mike Vogiatzakis Show. Yeah, we're on your page, Mike Vogiatzakis, on Facebook.
Cool.
We're still on Rumble. We're still on YouTube, so you can find us there as well.
The funny thing is that it takes 30 to 60 days to be able to do a live show. So we set up our page, and then
had to wait.
Brad got a message saying, "Oh, you got to wait." So we waited, did the show on my own page, and now we're doing it on both pages. So it's good.
Well, now it's on both pages for today. At some point, we're just going to move it off Mike's personal page and move it straight over to the Mike Vogiatzakis Show full time, and that'll probably be in the next couple of weeks.
So the Manwin Hotel burned down in the city today.
Yeah, it
on
sure
Main
did.
Street. Bye-bye. The Manwin Hotel at one time was...
There's a word, I think my mom brought it up today, something lightning.
Yeah. We won't talk about that, but I do think the fire department needs their arson task force back.
Well,
there's so many arsons in the city of Winnipeg.
That's right. Is there an arsonist running around setting things on fire?
Yeah, it could be an arsonist, or it could be a firebug.
A firebug, yeah.
A firebug. Going to say hi to some people and get on with the show.
There are lots of people. Look at that. Who's up first, Mike?
Today is Brenda Ducharme. Brenda, you beat everyone that's normally on the show when you're number one. I wish you would call it Wednesday with Mike and Chad. You know his name is Brad, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Brad.
Susan Alec, of course, Mike. Hi, Mike. Brad from Wayne and Susan. Nice people. Susan and Wayne
absolutely.
Alec.
Dan Ross is here tonight as well. Randolph
Oh,
Sora.
wait, where's Dan Ross from? I wonder if Dan Ross is really from Ross, Manitoba.
Yeah. He named it. He's the only guy that lives on that piece of property.
Are you the only guy that lives there, Dan? Pretty funny. Randolph's on the phone on the show, replying to Brenda Ducharme. You're mean. Brad, right?
You mean.
You mean.
Your.
I say you're mean.
No, me, you mean.
Oh, look, there's Al Bueller hiding in the background somewhere. Good evening, Mike Vogiatzakis. And
Hey, I
Brad
see that beer
Wilder.
in your hand.
Yeah.
It's
Mavis.
like romper room. I can see you.
Mavis, another one of my favorite people. Hello to Mike Brad. 65 days till spring.
That's it. I'm going upstairs. I'm going to get my wife's mirror. You know, you pop the glass out, and that way we can look through it just like a romper room.
65 days till spring. That's pretty cool.
Not soon enough.
Can't wait. You know what? Actually, it's been a pretty good winter. You know, some good weather.
Oh, really?
And,
Has
you know,
it?
the other day, I had to go towards the law courts building.
Imagine if it was minus 45 and that pipe on Main Street that broke from the
Oh,
water treatment
geez.
plant ended up freezing everywhere.
Crap everywhere.
It was pretty sad, man. Can you imagine 3 feet of crap?
Do you know, I was 3 feet of crap.
3 feet of crap on Main
Jeez,
Street.
that's a lot of crap.
That's a lot of crap.
Keep flushing your toilets, folks. I was walking from the convention center to go, you know where the convention center is, down that
Yeah.
street there. And the sidewalks was so terribly plowed, I don't think they were plowed, that I was having trouble walking. And then,
Did you say the casino?
no, not the
Oh, God,
casino,
sorry. I
the
thought you said
convention center.
Convention center.
Jeez.
I thought you said the casino.
What would I be doing at the casino other than gambling? But anyways, the streets in the city of Winnipeg, the sidewalks are terrible. And not far from where I was, a younger guy took a fall. And I thought, well, how about if somebody with a wheelchair or somebody who was, not able to walk properly, trying to go down those sidewalks. Terrible job on the sidewalks. The bike paths are cleaner in the city of Winnipeg, which is really, really disturbing, if you ask me. Say hi to some more people. And,
Well, don't you ride your bike to work yet?
No, not yet.
Why not?
Got to wait till they take away my license.
Oh.
When I don't get that ID that they want. You know, they're coming out with the
new
new
ID?
digital ID for your card, for your medical
First it's
card.
health card, yeah.
And now for your driver's license. So get ready for it, folks. It's time to put on the gloves, because what are you going to do when they say you need digital ID or you don't exist?
I'm not allowed to talk about some of the stuff that I know about on the show, but head over to wakeupcanadanews.com, and you can also see us on Facebook under Brad Wilder. Please take a look at some of the information and news stories that we've
You know what's funny,
compiled
Brad?
there.
You've
It's
never
really
had me on
important.
your show.
You know what? I'm not going to, because you're just not Canadian enough yet. Once you get to be mayor, then you're important. You become important at that moment.
Randy Statton's on the show also. And Randy really stands up for the bus system and tells me a lot and how it's failing and how
We're going to
people are
talk about the
complaining.
buses and
Actually, the
transit.
buses aren't something we're going to talk about
Oh, no?
tonight. No.
Oh.
We're talking about, tonight
See,
we're going
that's
to talk
kind of
about,
like utilities too, because we do fund
Sort
the
of utilities, yeah.
buses to run. It's not just all about their
you know,
money.
if I become mayor, or in May when I'm allowed to talk about my platform. See, I could talk about my platform now. The problem is, if you're a good poker player, you don't show the other poker players at the table your cards, because they're just going to steal the show and run away. And people are constantly criticizing me, saying, how come you're talk, no action? Well, there'll be lots of action. I just can't give you the action now. Right now, what I'm doing is just starting the conversation. Sherry Huff's on the show, another one of my favorite people. Hi, Mike, Brad, and everyone else watching. And maybe you want to read off a couple, like, for example.
Sure. But Debbie McKenzie?
Sure, you can read her off.
She's all the way from Tabor, Alberta. Good to have you, Debbie. Jamma's here as well. JJ Bannock. She's talking to her. Helk again.
Help again.
Good evening, Leona Peters. Yeah, people are here. That's good. Everybody's signing in. A lot of people saw that promotional video you finally played today. You should have played it last week. We would have had more viewers too.
Yeah, I can't believe how many people actually watched that video and are probably going to watch the show. What I'm finding out is a lot of people are watching the show the day after or on the weekend. You know, so it's good that we could do it live. Jeff Hoffer's also on the show. Hey, Jeff, long time no see. How you doing?
Hoffer or Hofer?
Hoffer.
Okay.
Hofer.
In Alberta, they say Hofer.
Look at Michelle's on the phone too. I mean, what am I saying phone for today?
I don't know. That might be, the Hofer thing might be something that is part of the Hutterites of southern Alberta that I remember.
Could be.
Not Hoffer. Hey,
Hoffer,
Mike, your
Hofer.
last post today, the response from Winnipeggers was really overwhelming. There was a lot that I want to maybe take a look back and read some of the comments, but should we read the comments and then give the back end report of what you did, or should we tell the report of what you did and then read the comments?
However you want to do it.
Well,
You're the man in charge. We can talk about, water bills skyrocketing and,
Sure, there's all kinds of things, like water bills have jumped unbelievably in Winnipeg in the past few years. As a financial professional, there's no reason a province with over 100,000 lakes should have people paying more for water than some car payments.
Isn't that crazy? I mean,
It's
think about
crazy.
people's car payments, and you're going to read and hear, because if you go back to my post, you're going to see how people are complaining and how real this is and how we need to grab a grip of it. Because, when you budget, you're a family budgets, young people budget, and the elderly especially budget for retirement, and they have so much money so they can, pay their bills and buy groceries and a little bit to have some fun. Well, those older people now aren't able to have any fun because they're being crunched. And it's wrong that the government's done this to people.
Mike, the next comment says, my water bill is high and I don't know what to do. I have 4 young sons. We go through water like crazy. Our normal $300 water bill is now $600. We had $1,400 bill followed by a $1,500 bill. It took 10 weeks just to get a rebate approved.
Isn't that crazy? So that's an
What do you
enormous
mean,
water bill.
rebate?
I know, but I can tell you that at one of our funeral homes, we got a water bill for $4,000. And this is one of the funeral homes that's just basically an arrangement office. We don't use it so often. And when I phoned water, they wanted nothing to do with it. They told me I'd have to hire a plumber and find out where the leak is. There is no leak. As a matter of fact, we've gone to the point where we're shutting off the water before we leave so we don't get this enormous water bill. So that's commercial, but used almost as residential. So I feel sorry for these people that are having to pay these bills.
Absolutely. Somebody says, I feel like my water bill goes up every pay period. There's 3 of us in the house. We don't overuse the water. I don't understand how it can be $700. And I mean, I got to be honest with you. It's like $650, $600, $700. I mean, one little toilet that just trickles a little bit, and it'll put you at $7 in a quick second.
Well, Brad, all these comments point to the same issue. People aren't wasting water.
No.
They're being hit with rising base charges, additional fees, and stacked up costs that have nothing to do with the usage of water.
Who owns the water again?
Yeah. When families feel punished, no matter how careful they are, the system is broken.
You're paying for those pipes that come all the way from Shoal Lake to Winnipeg. That's what you're paying for, son. You're not paying for the water. You're paying for the infrastructure.
Somebody said,
How about that? How are you going to reply to somebody that says that to you?
you're paying for the infrastructure, not the water?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
the water's free. It's God's nature.
and how about the infrastructure? It's broken too.
Well, that's just it. That's the
I
point.
mean, between the broken roads and the water and the tax and everything else, how are people supposed to survive?
All-
And the damage to your vehicles.
all the freshwater lakes in this province, we still drag it all the way, from almost Ontario to bring it here from Shoal Lake?
Yeah, it's sad that happens.
Underground, through all that mud and dirt and rock and sludge and what do we call it?
We have lots of
swamp?
water in Manitoba.
Oh, lots.
Tons and tons
Lots.
of water. So I'm not understanding what really goes on.
Well, I am, because the WEF's coming for it, and you know that. The United Nations is coming for it, and I'm not going to pull one past anybody's eyes. You guys all know this fact that UNDRIP is causing the land to be shifted in terms of property rights, and you'll have a different relation with property soon, this according to the girl from New York. Okay, so when families feel punished, no matter how careful they are, the system is broken, Mike, as you said. There's seniors out there, and their water bills used to be like $200 every 3 months. Now it's over $400 or $500. They're charging for garbage pickup on the water bill. I thought property taxes covered all this. How is that being grouped together? Is that kind of like the digital IDs, or they're going to put your bank account and your health card and your driver's license all on the same card?
Yeah, here's another one.
I got $380 water bill now, and my home insurance is up $300 more. That's over $2,000 due to at the same time. I'm on a small pension, and I'm wondering if I'll have to sell my house. A lot of people are going to have to sell their house, Mike.
And,
The interest rates have gone through the roof.
and if you look at the 2030 plan, the World Economic Forum plan with Klaus Schwab, you will own nothing and be happy. And
Yeah.
this is kind of what's happening. They're going to try and force people out of their homes into these apartments where you're paying rent.
15-minute city
And
apartments. And
15-minute city apartments. And yeah, I know people laugh and they say, "Oh, well, this can't possibly happen." But I'll tell you, you need the right leaders in place. I can tell you right now, the city of Winnipeg is 100% on board.
Hold it up. Tell them you're going to talk about it next week. It's right
Yeah,
there
we're going to
beside
talk.
you.
We're going
Look
to
at
talk
this.
about it next week. Here's the plan that the mayor is kind of following, and we're going to read about it and talk about it next week. But
Here, let me see
you
that
can
for a second.
you can be assured that the city of Winnipeg is on board with this 15-minute plan. And
So this is the Capital Planning Region Organization Procedures and Bylaws I got my hand on, and it's every single page of their bylaws. We're going to go through it with a fine-tooth comb, and we're going to be back next Wednesday night with a whole bunch of information on this, and we're going to get to the bottom of some of that nonsense that's put into place to really make people have to live this way.
And when you really think about it, Brad, like
they're not solving these problems. No. All they're doing is convoluting them for more issues down the road.
But even payments for apartments is so expensive.
Oh, absolutely.
So you kind of wonder between the two, how do you make it work?
2-bedroom is $2,700 a month for some in a new apartment, brand new.
Yeah, I want to before we go into the next one, let's just go to some of these comments because it's interesting how people are talking about what they're going through. Here's one here, Dan Ross.
Aqueduct gravity flow from Shoal Lake, Lake of the Woods. It passes right through our homestead. I know, but it's still a pipe, isn't it, Dan? If it's not a pipe, maybe it's the aqueduct, but the aqueduct is a pipe. That's what I've seen based on, what was that, Die Hard 4.
It's funny, here's a David Clausen who obviously does not know what's going on. Good luck getting elected with the World Economic Forum conspiracy theory.
What did he say?
Good luck. He thinks we're talking about conspiracy.
Well, yeah, no, actually, I can't agree more with you, David. I mean, look, we're saying some stuff here that the other side doesn't want us to say, and good luck having him in power to be able to control any of this. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I can tell you that if we don't try, we're stuck dead in the water, and that can't happen. So
you know what? Take a moment. Pipe. Take a moment and do this. If you're questioning anything, go to the World Economic Forum site, read what they're saying, and then compare it to what's happening in Winnipeg.
Just look at where Mark Carney is right now, signing deals and backdoor deals with China.
This has nothing to do with conspiracy theory. It's really what's happening in Winnipeg.
We started because of water.
Right.
Look at this, where we're at. We're because of water, and that's what's coming. I mean, Nestle's head CEO has said he was coming for the water in Canada years ago.
Dan Ross says it is a cement pipe.
Yeah, it is, yeah, but it's still a pipe. it's traveling through a pipe. It's not like it's just flowing through the ditches. Anyway, costs a lot to do that, obviously, but I can't believe that our utility bills for water are just so damn high. Instead of relaxing in retirement, this one person says, we both need to work. Life is getting harder for seniors every single day. And my parents are no different at 80 years old, going through the same thing in a nice apartment, but they're questioning where they're at, too, for that matter. This is really heartbreaking.
Yeah, and this is heartbreaking. And I'll tell you something else. If you think this is conspiracy, read it. People are talking about it. It's happening right now as we speak. They're making it unaffordable, the city of Winnipeg, and all around Canada, around the world, literally. They're making it not feasible for you to live in your own house. It's going to get worse.
Drive around the city. Take a look at the little villages that are being created. Take a look at the sign that says a big corporate name up there. And gee,
and one of the reasons.
Oh, my shin hurts.
One of the reasons.
My shin. I'm not saying anything, but my shin hurts. I'm sure you get the message.
One of the reasons that I'm running is to intercept this. I don't want it to happen. If 15-minute cities are true, you could be assured that I'm not on plan with the 2030 reset, and I'm not on plan with 15-minute cities. I think people should have the freedom of speech. The freedom to make your own decisions,
freedom to travel,
movement,
freedom
of travel,
to eat whatever you want, drink whatever you want, smoke whatever you want, do whatever you want in that regard.
Seniors
follow the laws.
Seniors did everything right. They worked, they paid into the system, they planned for retirement, and now they're being pushed to the edge by the cost. They cannot control them, and that's unacceptable in a city that claims to care about dignity and fairness.
All right, so this next comment says, I'm a senior with medication close to $300 a month, not covered. I had major cancer surgery. The medication I need just to live isn't covered here either. My doctors from the UK were stunned. You have doctors in the UK. Holy cow.
Wow.
Manitoba Healthcare pay for that? Just asking. That's great. We're glad that you got a UK doctor, and we're sorry that the medication isn't free, but somehow everything needs to change in this country, from the 13 to 15-hour waits at the hospitals to, the prices of medication in this country. We're watching Donald Trump saying things like, I'm dropping the price of medication, I'm dropping the price of gas, I'm dropping the price of everything. We're getting back on track. And this clown goes off to China, sells us out some more.
And when you look at it, safe consumption sites, they give away free drugs to people. But people
Oh, yeah.
who have diabetes, people who need medication,
Well,
people who
wait a minute. Hold on. I got to correct you because I don't want you to get in trouble for that comment. Safe consumption sites do not give out free drugs. Drug dealers hang out at free consumption sites to get their drugs purchased in the black market.
Do you know there's a van that drives around from a group in Winnipeg that hands out free narcotics to people that are on the streets?
I did not know that.
They do, and I will mention who they are maybe in the next one. So
we could call them right now and get them to drop by right now and drop some off with us. Or you just got to live on Main Street.
They
and
go.
tent
They go
first?
to the strip on the Main Street and they give people the drugs that they want.
Well, what are you
going
going
to
to do about that, Mr. Future?
Well,
Mayor?
again, something I'm not going to talk about till
Holy
May.
cow!
I have
know what I
lots
would
to talk
do.
about.
I know what I would do, and nobody would like it very much. I tell you what. You know, when you total up utilities, medication, basic costs of living, it's virtually impossible to survive for some, Mike. It's really starting to get to the point where the everyday necessities are now wants and needs, or wants versus needs, and being put out on the street next because you can't afford your home, not being able to eat while you live in your home. Do we all become house poor was the word of the day back in, the 80s?
And there's another thing, if you want to talk about conspiracy theories. A long time ago, I brought up the MAID program on Ask the Funeral Director, and people laughed at me, and they said, there will not be any MAID program. They're not going to take people's lives. You're a conspiracy theorist by even saying that. Now what's happening? The MAID program is alive and taking people's lives to left and right. Mental health patients will be next, and then children at the age of 13 will be able to walk in and take their own lives. So was that conspiracy? Because it's alive and happening right here in the city of Winnipeg, province of Manitoba, and right across Canada.
You know what's more disturbing that we haven't touched on, and maybe that's another show for another day too, but I'll bring it up anyway, is the organ harvesting that's actually happening with the MAID program.
But they're clearly talking about that's really happening. I could tell you as a funeral director that we're getting people, in the morgue afterwards, after they've been deceased and part of the MAID program, and everything is gone. And that's another show altogether, talking about the tissue bank, talking about the MAID program, talking about all those things.
We had
that
this
happened.
discussion already, and I was so disturbed at the end of it.
And this
I
is
can't
reality
believe what I'm
because
hearing.
I deal with it. So this isn't conspiracy again. It's happening right now. So the reason we're talking about all this, some people might say, oh, you're going to run for mayor and you're talking about this stuff. It's because it's education. It's the conversation that has to happen. We're talking about water. We're going to talk about hydro. We're going to talk about taxes. But all this stuff's important because you're facing it. It's the reality that you're living in. And what's the next mayor going to do for you? As far as I'm concerned, if anyone is going to run who's been involved in politics, who's been there before and has done nothing but is going to promise you the world, I'd steer far away from those people. One thing I could tell you about myself is I'm not politically connected whatsoever. I'm in the middle. What I want to do is be here for the people and do everything I can to make it affordable, make it right, so you can raise your families in Winnipeg and be proud of our city, which a lot of people are not right now. Let's go back and talk about this hydro here.
Well, Manitoba Hydro, let's see here. Let me see if I can do this real quick. I'll pull up another picture here. Let's talk. We're talking about hydro for a second. I'll read the comment, and I want to show a picture at the same time. My hydro will almost certainly be disconnected in the spring because I can't keep up. Now, that's just not you. I mean, there's a lot of people in the same boat, in the same position. But what you need to understand is that, oops, we don't want the moose. Sorry about the moose. I want to go forward the other way. Oh, not even that way. I guess I got to exit out of here and get to the next picture. There it is right there. And let's see if we can zoom in real quick here too, Mike. Get it up here a bit bigger.
Oh,
there you go.
This
$700
is interesting.
million warning.
So
million,
again,
not 100,000, million.
And Brad, why don't you tell them what that's all about? I mean, it's all over the place. It's $700 million warning sign for Manitoba's energy future.
So, okay, we're basically loaded with energy here in Manitoba, as you know, and we're sending it to the States. Our premier is pushing it out at, well, a great price for Americans so that the Americans, can, I guess, 3 times up the rate on it. But here in Canada, what profitability is there in that? There isn't. That's the point. He's selling it either at cost or even below cost, and I haven't figured that part out yet, so I'm speculating there, and I don't want to lie. But something's going on where our electricity is headed south, and they're getting a great deal, but us Canadians are getting really screwed. That's the nicest way to put it today, is screwed. And then with a $700 million loss, I mean, that's something else that's gonna really kick Manitoba right in the butt, and Manitobans. I mean, if they upped it by 2 or 3% or 5% even in the last 2 years, what's going to happen in the next 2 years?
Exactly. Susan, I want to answer your question here. So people say, what will a new mayor do when the city's just about bankrupt and out of control? That's not the case. What the case really is the money is there. They got a spending issue. The people in power now, the mayor in power now, they just spent $47 million
Allocating it, that's right.
on buses again, electric buses that don't work anywhere. These electric buses are sitting, I spent a lot of time talking with somebody that works in the control center at Toronto, where the buses are. Every one of their buses that they bought that are electric are sitting in a compound because they can't use it. Saskatchewan, everywhere. So what does our city do? They spend $47 million of your dollars. So you're saying, so let's go back here. You're saying, where's the money? What could you do with $47 million? What could you do with the money they spend on Portage and Main? Over $50 million. It's about allocating the money in the proper direction. You're already paying your taxes.
What could we do with our hydro with the $700 million we're missing?
and see, this is the issue. There's the money's there, taxpayers. And the problem is, what are they doing with your money? And why don't we have an open book policy where you can actually see where your money is being spent, where your money is going, and why it's going to those locations? And for the big things that are happening in the city, why are we not voting on it? Your vote matters, and you should have a say in where all your money is being spent. And we're talking about big, big money. So, yeah, this lady says that she's not going to have, hydro in the summertime because it's going to be disconnected. And I talked with another family today. So on average now, I'm getting about 60, 70 emails every morning with people telling me what's wrong and what they're going through. And people are saying in some cases that they're taking their hydro.
They're going without, right?
And they're going that you can only turn on your stove, or you can only have so much heat, and that's what they do because they're not allowed to disconnect your utilities in the winter.
In the winter, they call it a limiter. And the limiter on the
that's
house,
right. That's exactly what it is.
Limits the property to one plug-in. You got one going, you're not getting the next one going.
No one should be choosing between heat, medication, and water. And I truly believe that. When basic survival becomes a monthly calculation, leadership has failed its most vulnerable citizens. This is not about politics. This is about humanity.
All right. So listen, normally I'm going way off script here for just a quick second. But if I don't, I think we've got something that we need to talk about.
Okay.
The future looks bleak. A lot of people are stressed. A lot of people are in the same boat as what we're talking about from these people that are saying all of this. It's not just one person that commented today out of the 5,000 that saw the post. There's thousands and thousands of Winnipeggers, Manitobans, Canadians that are all in the same boat. How do we get out of this mess? How do we get past this mess? It's not just a new mayor. There's a lot more going on. So I wanted to ask the question of this, Mike, and I hope you got an answer for me. I have an internal feeling, and maybe some of the people out there want to chime in on the comments section and answer this too. I feel like we're being driven out of our country and driven southward. I feel like everything has gotten too expensive that if we go across the line, I mean, an $80 piece of meat here for a roast versus going to get that same $80 roast in the States, it's only working out to about $25, $28 for that roast, which is what the cost used to be here, for example. And this is like a 5-pound roast. Nothing major, nothing huge. We're not talking about a slab of meat. We're talking about a little tiny roast for the family of 2 or 3 or 4. But costs are through the roof. Are they trying to push us out of Canada? Moving everybody south?
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. But
you don't think they want our resources and they want our water and our electricity and they want everything?
I
gold,
truly
the
think
diamonds, the lithium?
I think you're overlooking things when you talk like that. I just kind of want to talk about civic politics, and that's where I want to focus on right now.
Civic politics is involved because obviously as they start to shuffle people out of the north, which happens during the fires every summer, they end up here. So it's going to end up on your doorstep in a sense.
Yeah, but again, tonight I kind of want to focus on the topics that we're
Okay,
talking
we'll maybe
about.
talk
And
about that in the
that's
back room
another
later
because you
on.
know what,
Sure.
it's pretty much an hour show. But I want to go back to David here, who is probably, I don't know, he's constantly making some noise. And David, I just got to tell you this, just so you understand. I don't need to run for mayor, so I don't need your vote. I'm going to make that clear to you. I'm running for mayor only because I want to make change to the city. I want to do it for my children, your grandchildren, the elderly, the in-between. I want to try and make a difference. That's why I'm stepping outside my box. So by you saying, well, you're going to lose my vote, I don't really care if I get your vote or not. And to be frank with you, I don't really care if I run for mayor. I'm doing it because I want to make a difference. So there's lots of feedback when you're going to run for mayor. There's lots of people that harass you. There's a lot of negative comments that come in, but that's just the way it is. What you need to do is have good accounting. You have to have systems and procedures in place. You need to be honest. You need to bring accountability to the city. And all those things are going to make a difference. And it's something we really don't have right now. And there's a spending problem. I'll say it again. The money that they've spent in the city of Winnipeg is enormous. Everything from calming curbs to the craziest things, closing down a street and painting it and repainting it. And the list goes on the money that was spent. That what we need to do in the city is get back to the basics. The basics means fix what's broken, don't touch what's not broken. You want to talk about the bus system? That's a perfect example. The bus system was not broken, but they broke it now. And people are up in arms in it. Elderly people walking for miles, disabled people not being able to catch a bus, people getting fired, people quitting their jobs. This is a city that doesn't care when they see the change needs to be made, and they put that change on the back step and they forget about it.
Next comment says, my daughter's water bill doubled with no change in behavior. They can't afford it and shouldn't have to. My young people are living with my parents and grandparents because they can't save for a down payment. Rent, utilities make it impossible.
Yeah, and that's another problem. This is how a city loses their future. And what I mean by that is, if it's not affordable to live in a city, people go to other cities. And we see that as a perfect example where we have some of the best universities here. People get their education here, they stay here until they get their education, and then they leave. When young families can't afford to build a life, when your seniors can't afford to stay in their own homes, the city is in trouble. And that's when change needs to be made. These comments aren't complaints, they're warning signs. Warning signs that the city is in trouble. And we can see by the homeless population, we can see by the younger generation that's going through school, that's struggling. We can see by the middle class people that are working and barely can buy groceries. And then we see our seniors definitely struggling. Seniors who should not be struggling, who should be able to live a good retirement and enjoy the fruits of their labor.
That's right. Mike, these are real people, real stories, and the real struggles that continue happening right now here in Winnipeg. And Mike, after hearing these voices, let's talk about accountability and why people feel like they're being ignored. They're obviously complaining and making sure that everybody knows, but again, let's start with the big picture. People feel like they went up at once. And are they wrong?
No, Brad, they're not wrong at all.
2026, right?
Yeah, what people are feeling is real. Because multiple increases have hit households all at the same time. Property taxes went up, water sewer went up, garbage fees jumped significantly, hydro costs continue to climb. When City Hall looks at these items individually, they downplay the impact. But families don't pay bills individually. They pay them all together. And that's where the pain really shows. Property taxes.
So let's start with property taxes. Sure, the one really that caught people off guard was the property taxes. I mean, that can go up a couple $100 a year, but then it goes up like almost $1,000 a year. It's sort of like your bank going, well, we had a 0% interest fee on your mortgage, but now it's at 5%.
This year, Winnipeg saw the largest property tax increase in years at almost 6%.
Yeah.
That may not sound huge when you hear it quickly, but when you average out, every owner is it's translated into roughly an extra $100 or $200 or $250 a year, depending on the property. For seniors on a fixed income, families already are stretched thin. Small businesses, that increase matters, especially when it comes on top of everything else.
Yep. It sure does. Water and sewer coming up. Obviously, there's old infrastructure, new infrastructure. You know, Mike, what do you see? Water bills are going up. People's quality of everything is going up. You know, what actually happened this year? People got caught off guard, and now they're toast.
Water and sewer rates went up again this year. And the way the city structures these bills makes it even worse. There's basic charge plus usage plus sewer fees tied together with water consumption. So even if you try to conserve, you still feel the increase. For a typical family, water and sewer costs have gone up well over $100 a year, and for some households, closer to $200 a year annually. And I know some of the comments I've been reading, water bills are up $400-500, which is crazy. And because these bills come quarterly, the increase hits all at once, which makes it even feel more shocking.
All right, garbage fees might be the one that people are getting most angry about, obviously. Those plastic bins, are they a good idea? Are they a bad idea? Well, the bins are breaking. The bins got to be worth a couple $100 each, and they keep snapping them in half when they drop them on the ground, or, you know, they put the big arms around it and give it a squeeze.
Yeah, and you see a lot of broken bins and people stealing bins and bins going missing and people taking other people's bins.
So that only brings up the cost and everything, and again, they're passing that on to the consumers, which is us.
This really upsets people, and rightly so. Garbage and waste fees saw a massive jump, more than doubling for many households. What used to be under $100 a year is now over $200 a year, Brad, and that's annually. For families already dealing with rising food costs, inflation, paying more just to have your garbage picked up, that's insulting. Especially when service levels haven't gone up. If you notice, the service level is exactly the same as it was.
That's right.
It hasn't improved. So people are noticing this, and it's aggravating. So why do we need change in the city of Winnipeg? Because things like this are happening, and they should have never happened. They should have never been allowed to happen. But we selected a mayor and council. Here's my opinion, and I tell you this from my heart. If you want change in the city of Winnipeg, what you need to do is get rid of every single councillor, the mayor, and start all over again with people that have a vision for the city. I have a vision, and in my heart, I'll share that vision with you in May when it comes. But we need councillors. Don't forget, the mayor can't do everything by himself. He needs the councillors. He needs the councillors' vote. We need you, somebody you know who has an interest in the city, to get up, put your name on the ballot, and make change. And if we could get a whole new team in there, we could put a vision together for the city, for your children, for your grandchildren, and the whole future of the city of Winnipeg. Winnipeg is a beautiful, beautiful city. I love it. It's my home. I'll fight for it. I was born and raised here. My parents left Greece to come to this country, to come to Canada, to make Canada their home, and they did. And now let's talk about hydro.
Yeah, hydro, people keep hearing rate increases, but feel, it really does feel constant. It's like up, 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 up. Again, the hydro rate doesn't necessarily stay in one place. It fluctuates. So what's going on with that, Mike?
Yeah, and these hydro, you're right. And the bottom line is hydro costs continue to rise year after year. So when you're a family listening to this and you add up the garbage and you add up the taxes and you add up the water and you add up all these things, a lot of families need part-time jobs. Even when rate increases are described as modest, usually a few percent, the reality is that heating, electricity, and delivery charges add up fast, especially in Manitoba winters. When you get a cold snap coming and you have to turn up your heat, you hear a lot of people on the comment section today saying, I'm trying to keep my heat on 18 or 17 just to be affordable. For many households, that means hundreds of dollars per year compared to just a few years ago. And unlike optional spending, people can't turn off their heats. They just can't say, I'm going to turn off the heat. They need it. You got to keep your house warm. You got to keep those pipes on.
We're starting to set levels based on that document over there beside you that we're going to talk about next week, which is the Winnipeg Metropolitan Region's plan, or what do they call that?
Again, not conspiracy. This is something that they're following. And everything I'm talking about is real. Listen, I'm not one to lie or put fear into you or make you think that something's wrong. I think we can get things under control if we have the right people there to make change in the city of Winnipeg. And, even the Metropolitan board that was out there, Scott Gillingham, the mayor of Winnipeg, sat on that board along with numerous other mayors, plus
bigwig corporate guys.
plus people that build houses in the city of
Well, the
Winnipeg.
Manitoba Home Builders Association was the president of the Winnipeg Metropolitan Region, and now they revamped the name of it. It's called the Capital Planning Region Organization. So, Winnipeg Capital Planning Region. Anyway, bottom line is
The total impact on everything is
Winnipeg Metropolitan Region, Capital Planning Region. You can use either one. Type it into the internet, you'll find it, okay? When you add all this together, what does it really mean for the average Winnipeg household, Mike? Everything's gone through the roof. What now?
I think when you
Utilities are way
combine
too high.
property taxes, water, sewer, garbage fees, hydro, many households are paying $300 to $500 per year, in some cases even more. And that's not counting groceries, fuel, insurance, interest rates. So you need to be a realist when you're putting all this together and you keep seeing it's adding up. You need insurance, you need fuel, you need insurance on your vehicle, on your
that's
house. People aren't imagining this. They're being squeezed from every direction.
I did a show the other day with an individual who we did an interview with, and his house had just burned down. They're in their late 70s and didn't have no insurance because the insurance company wouldn't insure him because he lived in southern Manitoba here. And there was an underground fire that was burning in the area, and they wouldn't give him insurance. And his generator blew up and burned his property down, and now he's SOL, as they say, and they're trying to get some GoFundMe going for him. Which is Reg and Sadie Harder are their names. You can look that up on another show called Things That Matter if you were interested in helping them out at all, just to kind of get that out there. They're good people. So you've added all this up together. It turns into a bunch of really troubling stuff for a lot of people. How are we going to get out of this? Well, that's the one we're going to have to dig into tonight a little bit, obviously. Why is this happening? Who's making these decisions? And why so many Winnipeggers feel like they're being asked to carry the burden without being heard? Mike, let's talk about accountability now and whether this path is sustainable for the people of this city. Do you think we can keep going down this same path, or are we going to be shit out of luck?
Yeah, we can't go down this path any further. And if we do, it's going to put more people into bankruptcy. It's going to put more people on the streets. And we need to make change, and this change needs to happen now.
I agree. It needs to happen right now, and things are getting sketchy for some out there, and we sympathize with you on that. We've talked about the numbers. We've talked about the impact. We've talked about even the frustration that people are feeling. If you could speak directly to City Hall right now, Mike, what would you say and what accountability really actually means, and why you're calling for accountability, yet they seem to not be wanting to do any of it?
I've been speaking out loud for quite a while now, making a lot of noise and talking about issues and topics that are happening in the city of Winnipeg. And what I'm doing right now, just not to break any rules for the election, is I'm starting a conversation. I'm listening to you. I'm hearing your complaints. I'm taking notes. And when I put my plan together, it's going to involve everything that we're talking about. Things that people need, things that people want. What can we do to make change? How can we make the city a better city? Accountability means something. Very simple. And it feels like we've lost sight of it. The mayor and council have lost the sight of accountability. That little sight that's so important. You don't balance budgets on the backs of people who already are struggling and call it leadership. That's not leadership. You don't raise taxes, increase utility rates, double fees, and then act surprised when families are angry and exhausted. Accountability means owning the consequences of your decisions, not hiding behind reports, committees, or just vague explanations. It means asking yourself one question. Before you vote yes or no on another increase, can the average person actually afford this? And the answer is no. Then it's your responsibility to take care of these citizens and adjust to their lives. The responsibility is on leadership to adjust their priorities so people can have a safe place to live, an affordable place to live, groceries on their table.
Transparency means something too, doesn't it, Mike?
Of course, transparency means something. It's important.
So if the costs are going up, people deserve clear answers in plain language. Are you going to be able to provide that? Where's the money going? You're going to be able to say that out loud?
Of course.
Are you going to be able to go through the budgets?
Of course.
Are you going to be able to trim them?
I can tell you right now, on an off note, that we're going to be working with CPA accounting firms. And we're actually, when it comes time in May and as it goes on to the election, which is in October, we are going to be breaking down the budget. And we are going to tell you where the changes need to be made. The accountants will be telling you that.
Well before it even goes to City Hall.
Well before it goes to City Hall. And we'll be breaking it up for you, showing where your money has gone, where it should have gone. So we're not playing games here. This is the real deal. We're going to go beyond any election campaign that you've ever seen. When we break things up, when we bring accountants on the show, when the accountants who know numbers are going to say to you, this is what the city of Winnipeg has done wrong.
Not to mention that, those accountants, they bring with them the knowledge to help spend the money wisely, which means they give you the process of being able to buy the right things along the way. Spend the money wisely. Get the right contracts in place, get the right supplies in place, use the right materials.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. And with that guidance, when you allow someone like an expert like that to help you with that budgeting and planning, you get a better outcome in the end. And I think a lot of budgets that are created these days, they're thrown together, they're all speculative, there's no real significant, well, we're shooting for that, but good luck, right?
Exactly.
We're going to try, but it always goes over. Just like, Main Street went over how much, right?
Right.
To get it back up top.
Every budget goes over. And,
absolutely.
And, you need to be prepared for that. And if you're going to run for mayor and be council, you're responsible for the decisions you made. You're responsible for the people out there that are struggling, that are fighting, that want a difference, that want a better city, that want explanations. And if you're the mayor of the city, you better be able to explain what you've done, how you've done it. And I'm actually shocked at how confident Mayor Gillingham is that he's going to get reelected. Does he think these people have been sleeping? Wow. Does he see what's happening across the street from City Hall, where the homeless population has exploded?
Yep. Saying it's not necessary isn't an explanation, is it, Mike? It's really
an excuse.
That's right. No departments, no systems, no internal politics, but most importantly, no accountability. It means remembering who you don't work for.
Yeah, not departments, not systems, not internal politics. You work for the people who heat their homes in the winter, who pay their bills quarterly, who run small businesses, who live on fixed incomes. When leadership loses sight of the trust, that disappears. And once you're gone and there's no amount of justification and you can't bring it back, that's when we have problems. Winnipeggers are not unreasonable. They understand infrastructure, costs, money. They understand cities have challenges. What they don't accept is being ignored, dismissed, or even treated like an endless source of revenue. And that's what you're doing to these people. You're treating them like an endless source of revenue. Accountability isn't about blame. It's about responsibility. Right. And right now, people are asking a fair question. Who is carrying the burden? And who isn't?
All right. Well, man, we've gone through a lot tonight. That's a strong message. And some of them are thinking, man, are people going to recognize this? Are people going to actually get this strong message and understand what's going on? Are they just going to keep paying their bills and struggling and hoping that they can get back on track?
Yeah.
It's not up to you to get back on track anymore. You can't get back on track. What are you going to do? Go take another job? Those jobs aren't there anyway. You see what's happening with the job situation in this country with all the temporary foreign workers, but don't make us get into that topic tonight. But let's talk about what people are actually asking for right now, Mike. I think that's the important part.
Exactly.
Not miracles, not promises, but fairness, restraint, respect, maybe a little bit of consistency, a little bit of understanding how to spend the money wisely. There's obviously solutions, right? And some of those solutions need to be addressed. Mike, what people don't understand, they don't understand are the problems. So we go through the problems here on the show. But in reality, what they're really asking is, how do we get through all this? What should be done differently? What does a responsible solution look like, and so much more. But you probably got some ideas on that.
Brad, solutions don't start with slogans. They start with discipline. The first solution is prioritization. To prioritize what we do. Before raising taxes or utility rates, leadership must prove that existing dollars are being spent wisely. That means identifying waste, delaying non-essential projects, which we haven't done, and focusing on spending money on the core services first. People are willing to contribute when they believe the system is fair. Right now, they don't.
No, how can they? It's about transparency. People say they don't understand where their money's going, and I kind of agree with them. I mean, look, there's a ton of cash that's going somewhere, and I don't see them digging on every street corner to put new pipes in on everywhere in the city. I mean, this infrastructure that they're building, like I said, there's old infrastructure in this city. This is one of the oldest cities in Canada, and this is not, sort of, but that old infrastructure is wearing, and that update and upgrade. But the new areas, how much new stuff is going in around this city?
And that's my second solution, is real transparency. Not press releases, not technical documents, clear explanation as regular people can understand. A lot of people can't read financial statements. A lot of people can't understand budgets. Every increase should come with 3 answers. What is going up? Why is it going up? And what was the cut or the change for citizens to pay more? Like, what do we have to cut for citizens to pay more? If leadership can't explain, it simply means they shouldn't be approving it.
That's right.
So what they're doing now is not asking, not caring, but just raising everything to the point where people are going broke, where kids are staying home. When we were young at 18, 19 years of age, you were looking forward to leaving the house, being on your own, and starting your life. Well, now, people are keeping their children home till they're 26, 27, 28, because they just can't afford to do it anymore.
Mike, many people are feeling this hit all at once. Is there a better way to handle the increases besides leaving the country and moving south, like I said earlier?
Absolutely, and it's
don't know.
critical, and it's
I don't
critical.
know.
The third solution is phasing and protecting. You don't just stack increases in the same year and expect people to cope with it, especially seniors and low-income households. Any reasonable approach, responsible approach, I should say, would be to phase increases over time and include real relief measures for those who are most vulnerable. No one should be choosing between heat and groceries.
That's for sure. What about utility bills specifically? Water, garbage, hydro?
Utilities need to be cost controlled, and accountability, not automatic increases. And that's a big thing. That means reviewing administrative costs, renegotiating contracts where possible, and ensuring efficiency before raising rates. And it means respecting the conversation. If people use less water, they should see real savings, not just higher base fees that cancel it out. People want fairness, not punishment for doing the right thing.
You're right. I want to go to the chat for a second because the mayor and council need to take a pay cut or a freeze for their term.
And you know what? Before we finish the show,
would you do that?
Well, it's hard to ask a mayor or council to take a pay cut, obviously, because they go to work, they work hard, they do what they need to do. But I think they need to be accountable. I think they need to be wise with their budgeting. They need to make sure that people come first. Every decision they make, they should weigh it out on a scale and see if that decision is for the people or against the people.
I just want to know if the salary balances with the job description. And if you can't hold accountability to that to begin with,
I think all this extra money they're getting paid, I think all these extra duties that they're doing, like when you become a counselor, you're told your salary is this much. When you become a mayor, you're told your salary is this much. Why is it increasing so crazily? You know what? I want to read some of these comments, Brad, because we've pretty much got through everything, but there's a lot of people that have questions and
some are going to say your ideas are unrealistic.
I haven't given my ideas yet. That's the problem. My ideas are in my heart, and they'll come out in May. We've talked about, typical things people need to talk about. Definitely not deep down solutions on how we can increase a better and safer city, what we can do with the police, what we can do with fire, what we can do with paramedics. It's unreasonable for somebody to be sitting on their floor in their house for 11 hours because they broke a hip. That just happened last week. And
it's unrealistic pretending that families can absorb this unlimited increasing. It's not sustainable, you guys, and you know it and I know it. So what gives first?
I say what's unrealistic is...
Once everything goes up too much, it's gasoline. You won't be leaving your home, which is what they want to have happen. Stay within your 15-minute zone. You will be buying groceries less because, well, they're going to dictate what groceries you can and can't buy.
I say what's unreasonable is pretending families can absorb, unlimited increases. Budgets are about choices. Every city has constraints, but leadership decides who carries the weights. Responsible solutions don't eliminate challenges, but they share the burden fairly. Communicate honestly, protect the people who keep this city running. That's not radical. That's basic government.
All right, so people are really asking for, it isn't miracles, is it?
Not miracles.
You think you can do it? You can pull it off? They're asking for discipline, transparency, fairness, and respect, Mike. So, Mike, let's wrap this up with what you want viewers to take away from tonight because, they've got to get into mode of picking a new guy at some point here soon. And when you do, you're going to want to see everybody's platforms. There's a few people that have come out of the woodwork over the last couple of weeks, I think, that are starting to mention that they're going to run for mayor. I heard some guy named Ryan, who's an MLA. Plus, I heard about Don is coming back again, and not DT, not Don Trump, but another Don.
What I say again is, if you've been there, done it, and haven't made change, what's the point? If you're voting somebody in who's been a counselor, who's been a part of the government, they've already been there and they haven't made change. So don't let them tell you that they're going to make change.
Well, okay, so let me talk about this because as we head into that, you're right. Now the next person in has the opportunity to say, well, I wasn't responsible for any of that. I don't have to be held accountable for any of that. It wasn't me. It was the guy before me. And that's why change happens. You think the next people in can still run the same playbook that we're holding in our hand right here?
I think what's going to happen is with good new leadership, we should, instead of increases, we should be doing decreases. And it's funny that Ryan just mentioned that as I was saying that. Brad, what people want to know is this. I want people to know, I want you to know this. You're not alone.
No, you're not. Never.
You're not imagining the pressure. The pressure is real. And you're not unreasonable for asking questions. When water bills, hydro, garbage, fees, taxes, and all these are risen at the same time, it affects lives. It affects families, seniors, workers, and small businesses who are already doing their best. This isn't about anger. It's about fairness. It's about respect, and it's about leadership, remembering who it is you serve. And that's what I want people to know. It's really important. People aren't asking for perfection. They're asking for honesty.
Yeah.
They're asking for transparency.
That's right.
They're asking for restraint and common sense.
Spend it wisely.
Most of all, they're asking to be heard before decisions are made and before they arrive and they have to pay the bill. And that's not unreasonable for people to ask.
Not at all.
Conversations like this matter because silence doesn't fix anything. Changes start when people talk, ask questions, and hold leadership to a standard that puts people first, not systems, not excuses, not politics. That's how you build trust. That's how you get elected. That's how you make change. If you're watching tonight and you're feeling the squeeze, know this. Your voice matters. Your experience matters. And this conversation is just getting started. Thank you for joining us on the Mike Vogiatzakis Show. Our shows are going to only get better and more powerful. And we love that you're here. Please like, share, and follow the show. Your comments are important, and we're right out of time.
We're right on the time.
Right out of time. So, again, thank you for joining another Mike Vogiatzakis Show. God bless you and your families. Take care of yourselves and each other. Good night.
That's it, everybody. Thank you for coming. We'll see you next week. Join us back here next week. Don't forget to watch the replay tomorrow. Like, share, and follow on YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook. We'll see you next week, everybody. Good night.
Good night.